This is Gilbert Andrew Garcia of A Tip from Gilbert, talk, inspiration, and prayer. Listen to my show every Monday from 11 to 12 on KWWJ 1360 AM, KYOK 1140 AM, KCOH at 1230 KCOH.com, Sankeet Radio at 95.1 FM, 1460 AM, and Latino Sports, KEYH 850 AM. Call in at 832-570-8075 and follow me on social media. See you then. All right, Houston, this is Gilbert Andrew Garcia. That's me with another tip from me. Talk, inspiration, and prayer. You got it. You're on live here all over Houston, all over Harris County. We're all over KWWJ. Keep walking with Jesus. KYOK, KCOH, Latino Sports, and Sankeet Radio. So here we go. And by the way, we've had several of our candidates who have been on the air to talk about CD18 and that race to replace the irreplaceable Sheila Jackson Lee. And of course, we did have Mayor Turner on there for a while, and of course, Sheila's daughter on there for a little while, but really replacing Sheila Jackson Lee. And we already had Christian Menifee, our county attorney. We had Amanda Edwards. We're hoping to get George Foreman IV. And of course, we're going to have Jolanda Jones, and we had Isaiah Martin. So just be on the lookout. As a reminder, we're going to have on June 23rd, the CEO of the Montrose Center. On June 30th, we're going to have the CEO of Kids Meals. I may not be here June 30th, Houston, but I'll have one of my stand-ins to do that. I'm going to be in New York. We had the passing of one of my greatest mentors of all time, Mike Oshowitz, and we're going to celebrate his 88 years of life there in New York City. And we'll have Lisa Helfman coming in from HEB. Of course, HEB just got an incredible award that I want to make sure we all know about because they are doing so much philanthropy. It's incredible. And I'm going to have, of course, Mike Doyle, the CEO, or essentially the Harris County Democratic Chair, and we're going to have many more things. So we're going to be rocking and rolling. But right now, I have Mr. Donnie Byrd. Donnie Byrd is the Senior Manager of Adult and Multicultural Programs for the City of Houston's Library System. Donnie, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, first of all, there's like 10 words in your title there, so I didn't know. I'm just going to call you head librarian. Now, that may not be your title because someone may have the title, but that's what you are to me because
okay.
I know if I need something in a library, I'm going to you because you'll find it out for me. So I want to know all about, but wait a minute, we already have another call. We have a call. Do we have a call? Is there a Dominic there? Dominic, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I've got one of the senior managers from the public library. And Donnie, you've been with 10 years?
11 years.
11 years. But who's counting, really? Well, we are.
Knows?
We are. 11-year veteran of the public library. What do you got there, Dominic?
Okay, when I was growing up, my mom made sure I read. And when I was in junior and senior high, during the summer month, my mother, when she would go shopping in the Heights, she'd dump me at the Heights Library. Well, that wasn't a dump. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
And then later on, I used the Central Library. So I do agree we need to learn books. But I'm going to just say something here as maybe a linking with Metro on this. There are several books out there for children who have a transportation theme. I'm thinking like The Little Engine That Could, Thomas the Tank Engine. And maybe, next summer, maybe some of our trains or buses could be named after an author or a character of some of these books.
Yes.
Also, too, if you go down to the Herman Park Railroad, the Herman Park Railroad bought 2 new locomotives, which are battery powered. They look like a steam engine, but they are actually battery powered.
Yes.
So, and one of them actually looks like The Little Engine That Could with the red and the blue paint. And in fact, that The Little Engine That Could, the author based that locomotive on the Central Pacific No. 1 at the California State Museum in Sacramento. So I think that might be the thing, is trying to link young children to learn books, and with that, maybe we can link them to learn how to transport themselves in a green manner. And with that, I have no other comments. I'm sending it back to you. But Gil, I got something for you.
Tell me.
The electoral results for both San Antonio and Houston, the turnout was both 17%, which is awful.
Come on. Well, the reason in San Antonio, I was watching that race closely. Gina Ortiz, she's amazing, and she ran and she won, and she won, I believe, 56 or I believe it's 56-44 or 55-45. And Gina Ortiz Jones, she's fantastic. She's run for Congress once or twice, and now she's going to be our new mayor of San Antonio. And of course, the turnout was 17%, which is roughly the same as Houston. Which Houston, that's not good enough. We got to get voting. We got to get out there. We got to make our feelings known. And when you have elected officials that aren't doing what they're supposed to do, and they're not being responsive to the public, get them out of there. Thank you, Dominic, for all of that. That's right. There you go. Dominic, you talked about Thomas the Train. My kids grew up, I had one that was in the era of Barney, and then I had one or two in the era of Thomas the Train, and then I had one in the era of the Wiggles. At the end of the day, Thomas the Train, of all of them, was the most boring of all of them. I mean, oh my God. I mean, it was painful watching it. Do you remember Thomas the Train?
I do remember Thomas the Train. I just remember seeing that face.
The face.
But it's
kind of scary somehow to me. It was kind of an eerie looking face.
Yeah, it is. Speaking of that, I know in kindergarten, that was like my first field trip to a locomotive station, a railroad train station. So it was really nice to get on the train and everything. But then seeing it on TV, it's educational, it's fun, but I would say you mentioned two other shows. You said Barney.
Yep.
So I definitely came up in that era. I remember Barney and Baby Bop and all of them.
Yep, Baby Bop. Oh my God, yeah. Baby Bop. And of course the Wiggles. I mean, fruit salad.
Yeah.
Yummy. Fruit salad. I mean, that's a great. All of them are so great. Mm-hmm. But let's go back to
all the kids. Don't forget. Murder on the Orient Express. Get older kids involved.
Thank you, Dominic. We're going to sign off on you. We're going to have other callers. But let me go back. Donnie, you've been with the library how long? 11 years.
11 years.
And what have you done that whole time?
So 11 years, when I first came into the system, I was hired as the youth coordinator for a triad grouping. So there was 3 libraries located on the southeast part of town. I focused on juvenile programming, along with everything else with the library, with the collection, with customers. I even did computer lab classes, open lab for those who were looking for jobs. I was a busy little man back in the day. And eventually I did get promoted to assistant manager of the Staniker Neighborhood Library, a library that is near and dear to me. I worked there for over 4.5 years. I worked in a community that has about 96% population of Spanish speaking. It was very interesting when I first started over there. When they see me come in, I know a little bit of Spanish, so I would try to speak a little bit. They're like, no. But once they got to know me and I got to work with my Spanish, they're like, okay, we see the tall, skinny black guy. So that's what I started. I did a lot of youth programming. I did become assistant manager. And then back in 2018, I was promoted to branch manager of the Bracewell Neighborhood Library, which is located in South Beth Ellington neighborhood. So I worked there for about 4.5 years, up until the time I came into programming, which I came into programming back in 2023, January. So I've been on this side, on the administration side, for 2 years now. I've done everything from programming. I've done everything from volunteer services. I've helped youth, teens, adults, heavy outreach, because the thing about it, our mission is we link people to the world. So if I'm not going out to the communities, the community centers, and informing them of our resources and everything we have to offer, I'm not doing my job with linking.
So is that what it's all about, linking people to the world?
Yes.
I haven't heard that. Is that a phrase y'all use?
That's our beloved mission statement.
Is it really?
It is.
I love it.
Yes.
Linking people to the world.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you this. When people think about the library, didn't Ben Franklin start the library, or the library system? I think somebody fact checked that for me. I think it was Ben Franklin. At the end of the day, when you think of a library book, it's really meant to have information and resources and books for young people all over the world, all over America. But nowadays, so much is on the internet. How is a library changing for these times?
So we're just making a lot of our materials digital. So where customers, if they're not able to check out the physical books, with our MyLink Library card, they are able to access our online resources. So it is easy for those because we understand not everyone is technology savvy, but then you have those who are like in school and who may need to get something beyond the physical books. They are able to, check out our resources like EBSCO host a lot of areas where we can research and do a lot of things online, to be able to help with it.
Do you think it's someday, I'm just making this up, 50 years from now, all the books are going to be just on computers and online?
You know what? That is a very
Is that going to be the future?
That may be the future, but I will say with the library, the point is we are linking people to the world, so we want to try to make everything available to everyone. There are those who rely on print books, and there are those who rely on digital. Now, we can't stop what's going on worldwide, but at least in the library, the best that we can, we try to make sure we have something to offer everyone. And if there's a situation we may need to help those with that transition from print copy to electronics, then we have wonderful staff in the libraries who can assist with that.
Well, I do know that in the year like 2400 to 2500, because I saw it on Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan, they will have books, but they'll be very, very rare.
Yeah. Because
I remember that Dr. McCoy gave Captain Kirk a copy of The Tale of Two Cities.
Yes.
And it was a hardbound, and it was a big deal to the captain to get this book of such an incredible, of course, famous novel. But who knows what it's going to be. But one thing's for sure, I was in the library. Everybody knows I ran for mayor, and I went and got some information. I had to sign up in the library. And I was amazed at, first, how many people were in the library. You think about, well, nobody really is using it. Not true. There are a lot of people in the library. The other thing was, I was surprised at how many computer stations there were in the library. Talk a little bit about that. The library is a place for people to go, to be quiet, to study, to do things. But I thought it was beautiful to see all these computer terminals being used by young people.
Yes, that is a beautiful thing because, as you know, I'm not a really old person, but I know back in the day, I would say I see a lot more computers now than I did when I was in the library coming up. This is our way for extending our technology offerings. So we know that there's a possibility that there are people that may not have their computer at home. They may not have internet at home. So they could come inside the library to use these devices, for research, for leisure, looking for work, and everything is free to them. And you also have your library card where you could check out some of the things that you're researching. Yep. Let's say that person is working on a paper and they say, hey, let me check the catalog to see if there's a physical book that I could take home. Check out their library card, get that book, go home, and when you need to come back and work on that paper, come back to the library.
Well, let me ask you this. How many libraries are there? I was going through the website here, but do you know offhand?
Yes, we have about 37 neighborhood libraries with 3 special collections. So we have libraries covering all 7 regions of the city of Houston.
That's incredible. And do you know how many, this is a silly question, but how many books do we have? Do you have any idea?
I would say millions across the system.
And it's got to be a whole bunch.
It's a whole bunch.
That's a whole bunch. And what's the difference between a library, a regional library, and the express library? What's an express library?
So an express library, it is a smaller library, but has a little bit of everything that a regular library has, but in a smaller form. It may be located inside of, let's say, the one we have is Southwest Express Library. That is one inside of the Southwest Multi-Service Center.
Oh, how wonderful. Yes. Inside the Multi-Service Center?
It is inside the Multi-Service Center. So you're in a big center where, and I used to live around there, by the way, you're in the center where you have WIC clinics, where you have it is a multi-service center, for seniors, for people of all ages. And then you also have your library. So you can stop in, get your library card, and take advantage of the library resources. So it is a smaller version of our regular libraries. And the regional library basically is one that we have one in 7 regions. And it basically covers everything that, some of the smaller libraries may not have, like passport services. So that is just a place where they could come and get basically everything just about what a flagship would have, but on a smaller level. But it's something there for everyone in the
You can get passport services in the library?
You sure can.
Holy cow. I'm going to go all to services in a second. Wait, do we have another caller there? We have another caller first. Was it a Veronica? Is there a Veronica there?
There is a Veronica here. Hello.
Welcome, Veronica. You have me, Gilbert Garcia, and of course you have Donnie Byrd of the Houston Public Library. Veronica?
Yes, I wanted to ask a question about book preservation and things going on with the library and the push for books to get erased. I feel like, what is the incentive for young journalists to continue to publish books and continue to keep writing if we're seeing a rise in a push for books to be erased from libraries? And what you guys are doing to preserve books, to keep that incentive for journalists to keep writing and expressing themselves freely.
And do you mean as in preservation to keep them from cracking everything, or do you mean continue to have them available because there's no censorship?
Yes, to continue to have them available.
Because there's no censorship?
No,
or you mean just the physical books because they get old and just to keep them available?
No, more so I was talking about how there was a push in legislature to erase some books or certain books from libraries and have certain books erased.
Yeah.
So what are the libraries doing to, like, I guess, kind of preserve certain books that might be interesting to people while also having like that pushback on the government side? Yeah,
so there's all kinds of issues, and I don't know if you know much about that just now, but a movement to ban certain books, things of that nature. You know, whatever you can tell us, what do you know about any of that, and what's happening, and what are y'all doing to adjust?
Well, you know, we are a library and we do serve the public. So one of the things we are doing, we're definitely aware of the banned books, which is why we do celebrate Banned Books Week. So that is a week that we allow for those books to be displayed, checked out, so that customers are able to check those books out as they would. We're definitely aware of that. And we're just making sure we're doing our part to make sure that we are continuing to support authors of all ages. And sometimes we may even invite, you know, them to author talks to be able to discuss it a little bit more. We know that there are limitations, just as it is with other library types of libraries. But I would just say we as a library system, we just want to make sure that we are continuing to support those, because we do support literacy, we support literature, and we want to make sure that everyone's creativity and voices are heard.
Wonderful. Veronica, did you have a follow-up question to that?
Yeah, I guess what incentive could you give to young journalists to keep expressing themselves freely, you know, in this day and age?
I would say just continue to write. And, you know, if anytime you want to come to promote your book, that's why we're here with the programming department, so that you're able to share your creativity, share what you have written, and also this is an opportunity to share the struggles that you have had, because a lot of people think that, you know, writing is easy. There's no issues. You know, you just write a book and publish it and that's it. But that person who is facing the issue of possibly having a book banned, they're able to tell us what happened, what did they have to go through in order to accomplish what they have accomplished, and that is writing a book. Yes, it is banned. We do get authors come inside of our libraries who have faced those issues, but they have an opportunity to share that experience for those in the community who may want to learn more about writing. So if nothing else, just to share your experience and also the piece that you have written. I think that is a big incentive, because in some places, you know, it may not be able to happen.
So how does someone, let's pretend I wrote a book and it was published and it's the history of ABC. How would I get it in the library?
Well, I would say, and we have something special for local authors.
Oh, you do?
We do.
How wonderful.
Yes, we have what's called a local author submission. So we get those all the time. You can reach out to us through Ask HPL online, or sometimes you may want to call in. We do have a link where you're able to submit your book and the physical copy to the library. So it will be reviewed by our library material services team. And once that book is reviewed and approved, then it will be added to our local author collection. And we do, in the programming department, invite local authors, and we do support our local authors, because we know we have our major authors all around the nation. We want to support those right here in Houston. And a great way to do that is to make sure that we order several copies of their books so that they can be circulating just like any other book.
Thank you very much. Veronica, anything else?
No, that'll be it. Thank you so much. I really learned so much.
Thank you so much for the call, Veronica. All right, let me go back to you real quick now. Let's talk about some of these services, because you dropped a bunch already. How would someone know that today's library is really about tomorrow's library? In other words, already the library is changing. It's not just a place for books anymore. Maybe that's another tagline. Yes. We're not just books anymore.
We're not.
And so what are some of the other, and I want to go through some of the other services you have. Clearly you have computer services. If someone wanted to use this computer, do they have to sign up? Do they have to rent one? Or they're just there for their public use?
So they can come inside the library. Library card is great, but we do have ways for customers to be able to use computers. We know there may be some issues. Someone may not have an ID or anything to be able to get the library card, but we still find a way to allow them to use it. Library card to use a computer. Use a computer, yes. And even with use a computer, we even have ways for laptops to be checked out.
No kidding.
You would definitely need to have a library card for that.
So that means if somebody wanted to go and they don't have a computer, but they wanted to work on the computer in the library, they could do that.
Yes, they could do that.
And be on the internet and everything.
Be on the internet, free internet, as long as the library is open, about 6 hours a day. So they are able to do all of that. Yes.
Wow, that is fantastic. I think we have another caller already. Do I have another caller there?
Yes, Linda.
Linda, are you there, Linda?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You got me, and you got Mr. Donnie Byrd of the Houston Public Library.
Hello.
And they call it HPL,
yes,
for those in the know. What do you got there for us, Linda?
Well, he's running for federal, and I'm sure there's plenty of people with plenty of questions for the library. I remember going to Harris County, and when Carol Mims Galloway was head of our District B, Houston had closed 3 of our libraries in our Northeast community, Amanda Dixon, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm not calling about that today. Amanda Dixon, one on Lockwood, one over there behind, by the old Smiley, behind the church, and just the whole thing. We've got library problems we have. But my question to you, Mr. Byrd, is it BYRD?
That's exactly right.
The jazz mix.
You got it right on the first try.
BRYD.
Yes, that's back in my day. Is he your daddy or your uncle or what?
Yeah,
Donald Byrd.
Could be.
Okay, but my question to you is: this is District 18, and it is a federal United States congressional representative. And my goodness, the field is flooded with everyone who thinks all you have to do is just go to a funeral. Mm-hmm. But I want to know which, and I'm going to give you 3 categories for you to tell, and you just tell me which one and for which reason do you think you're going to, if you need to get your attention, because there's so much that you have to get your attention mm-hmm. with these executive orders. Mm-hmm. Libraries isn't even on the list. Incidentally, I thought that in order to get a library book on the shelves, show you how things have changed, mm-hmm. it had to be by the United States Congress, but that's back in the 60s, okay?
Mm-hmm. Right.
50s and 60s, yeah. So thank you for that change. But number one, is it going to be the SNAP benefits on the entitlements? Is it going to the food stamps, and I'm pushing in there Medicaid too? Or is it going to be the seizing of our data by Elon Musk and they're supposed to have this whole squad between the two of them? Okay, but he took all our social security numbers and everything, and he's gone off to Starlink. These are 2 people that had, that feathered their nest, because 2 or 3 years ago, they didn't have the money to buy these companies that made them rich. One was buying Twitter, one was buying Instagram or whatever it was. No, what was it? Donald Trump's Justice, whatever it was, he didn't have the money. What is going to be your focus point as you serve the people in District 18, and I'm in District 18. I don't need anybody to bring me water. If you don't have sense enough to buy water and you're a homeowner, this district is largely homeowners. I don't have time for that. I want to know, which one do you think is going to be SNAP? Is it going to be the taking over of private institutions? Harvard is one, which I think Gilbert is a graduate of Harvard.
I'm the other one. I'm Yale.
Yeah. Oh, that's my son's godmother, Eli.
That's exactly right. Well, Linda, let me just remind you that he works for the library. He's not running for Congress, but let's ask him this. How many?
Oh, he's not running for Congress. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry. But let me ask you, let's ask him this. How many libraries are in the district? Do you know in Sheila Jackson Lee's area? That part of the district?
Okay, you have the one in Fifth Ward. I don't know the name of it because I taught in this district. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I taught high school, mm-hmm. and I had to send kids to the library. But they couldn't go to the library. Under Whitmire, Anise Parker, mm-hmm. she shuts down the libraries. Amanda Dixon is one. Is that on Lockwood? That's up in Casimir Gardens. Then you keep on going down. There's one on Homestead. I don't know the name of it. It's across the street from Houston Community College. Mm-hmm. And you have one behind behind the church, Bishop Taylor's church. Darrell, Assistant Pastor Darrell, who owns this radio station, or at least is the operator of the radio station 1360. You have one over there off of Mesa. That's 1, 2, 3 that I've named. And in Sheila Dixon's area, it's in Sheila Jackson Lee. I think she also holds the one in Acres Home. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot.
That's a lot. Well, let me ask you this. So, Donnie, and this is really going to be part of Linda's whole thing here, which is when you look at the library system, is all of this local funds or federal funds go to these libraries?
So it will basically be city funds. We are through the city of Houston. Library is just one of 26 departments that operate through the city of Houston. So this would be municipal.
I see. And do you know, Miss Linda, are there any federal libraries out there, or do you know, Donnie?
It's not a federal library, but Sheila Jackson Lee had our city-owned pools reopened when they said that they didn't have the money in their budget. And she also had libraries reopened this was under President Obama, that they cut the library hours during the summertime. You might get, it might be a grant that comes down through the state and filters down to the thing. And God help us all, because you see what would happen under this current governor if you had to look for a dollar to come down here to help your black and brown children.
Well, I know I'm going to have you on the show next week, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, well, you and I've got a couple other callers. You and I are going to be spending a lot of time with Mr. Bouchard next week. And so it's going to be a heck of a show. So everyone listening, Miss Linda's got a lot to say.
Well, I have just a few things, as everyone, as you do with your show, Mr. Garcia. We as a community must, and as citizens, must be involved. You didn't get saved to go run around the church house and shout and talk about how saved you were. I don't care who you did and didn't vote for. Why are you going to let all of this evil come and take over because you didn't vote for the person? I don't get the logic. But thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you next week.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Now, Don, I have a lot more questions for you because I want to go into the services, but we have 2 callers already.
Yes.
One will. Could you show me Camila? Camila, are you there?
Hi, Gilbert. Yes, this is Camila.
Camila, you have me, Gilbert Garcia, with Donnie Byrd of HPL.
Yes. Hello.
What do you got for us there, Camila?
Awesome. Okay, so Gilbert, I have a question for your guest, Donnie, here. Hi, Donnie.
Hello, Camila.
I'm curious I'm curious. You previously mentioned that roughly 60% of the people that went to one of your libraries were Spanish speaking, and now that's over roughly 50%. Is there a push or a seeking of books at your library that are both translated in English and in Spanish? A lot of people in my community, because I am Hispanic, we've seen that we've been losing some of our Spanish, or the next generation are having their children here and they don't want them to lose their Spanish. Now, personally speaking, one of my cousins, she's recently had a baby. She's starting to learn how to read and write, and she finds it very difficult for her to find, books that are both translated English and Spanish and children's books like that. I know that Arte Público Press and UH, they're one of the most biggest publishing Spanish books here in Houston. Do you have any connection with them? I guess those were two questions. But yeah, those are my questions for you, Donnie.
Thank you, Camila. Now, so Donnie, let's break it down this way. If you look at the library, let's go back. How many Spanish speakers are you servicing? Do you know roughly, or how many? You made a statement earlier.
Yeah, I made it specifically with a particular neighborhood with Magnolia Park. So when I worked over there, I want to say live because I may as well because I was there more than home.
Right.
We had about, I would say 96% Spanish speaking community.
Wonderful.
So we still have a Spanish collection, not only for adults, but also for children and teens. And we also have, and we continue to order bilingual books because we do understand there are two languages spoken. So one may not understand the other language. And it make it easier for those parents who are raising dual language children. So we do have those bilingual English and Spanish books.
Well, hold on, Camila, before you go. So let me ask you this, Donnie. So what about other languages like Vietnamese? That's another very large community.
Yes, we do have Vietnamese also, and it is in certain areas of our community. For instance, at Bracewell Neighborhood Library, that is one location that offers Vietnamese collection. So it's Park Place, and then we have a number of libraries on the southwest side that go into even more languages, like Mandarin Chinese, like Korean. It's various languages. I know because I would get some books and I say, oh, well, this is probably better at that particular library. But we do have a world languages collection where it focuses on some of the top languages spoken in the Houston area.
How wonderful.
Yes.
Congratulations for doing all that to be responsive to the community.
Thank you.
It warms my heart. Camila, you have a follow-up call? A follow-up question?
No, I don't. I just want to thank Donnie for letting it known of where some of these locations are,
Yes.
But yeah, thank you so much, Donnie.
You're welcome. And just about, I would say every location does have at least an English and a Spanish as well as bilingual section. So your friend and your family, there should be no issue with finding books. And if the book is not at that particular library, you could always work with a staff member and they could place the book on hold so it could be sent to your library so that you could use.
Wonderful. Camila, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gilbert. You have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you.
So go back, Donnie. So what are the other services? So now there's clearly computer services.
Yes.
Now we know there's bilingual type books.
That's right.
What other things do you have in the library? Well, here's another one you said. You also have, I guess, where authors come in and talk about their stories or talk about their books.
Yes, we do have what's called Author Talks, and it is operated through the Systemwide Programs Department where I am with the library. There may be local authors, and we also have authors, major authors, that may come in and they share information about their latest book.
And do you publicize that, or how would people know? Like,
So-
where does someone know these things?
Yeah, so they can always visit our website at www.houstonlibrary.org, and our communications department does a great job of preparing promotional flyers that are at our locations, and also social media. We do a lot of heavy social media push. We also work with the mayor's office so that we could provide press releases so that the community is able to understand the event that we're having and the contents of it. So there are various ways, radio, even TV, a lot of times we have television spots just like we're doing this radio, and we are asked about our events. So those are various ways that we are promoting those types of events.
And is there something in the Children's Museum? Do y'all have
We have the
what do you have there?
Yes, we have the Parent Resource Library. It is in the Children's Museum, but it is also a part of the Houston Public Library. Yes.
That is fantastic.
Mhm.
I used to be on the board of the museum, and boy, they do so many wonderful things. I need to have them on my show. But meanwhile, there's a whole section there.
Yes, there is a little. It's a parent resource library, and there's an area where you could check out books. Parents could take their children while they're there at the museum. They could also take advantage of the library. And one thing that I do love about the Children's Museum of Houston partnership is that we have what's called the flip kits. I had to think for a minute. It's been a while since I've had them. Flip kits are their little kits with the book. They have a little CD, little audio book, and it has a little activity for parents and children to be able to check out. They are themed. They are grouped by ages, and they also have them in different languages. So the incentive for completing those would be to receive a free CMH pass.
How wonderful.
Yes.
Touche for that.
Touche.
We have two more true calls. Is there a Bobby on the line? Bobby, you there? Mr. Bobby. Bobby. Can you hear me, Bobby? All right, we'll come back to Bobby. How about, was there an Isabella?
Yes, hi.
Isabel. Are you an Isabella? Are you a Bella or a Belle or Isabel?
Well, we can do Isabella.
Isabella, let's go. What do you got for me? I'm a Gil, but you can call me Gilbert. You can call me Gil. You can call me Mr. G. You can call me. But go ahead. What do you got for us?
Okay, so my question's actually for Donnie. Sorry, Gilbert.
That's quite all right.
But what is one initiative that you're most proud of during your time with the library that you have spent?
Oh, that is a very good question. Very nice to meet you, Miss Isabella. I will say One Houston, One Book. This occurred back in 2023. This was the last year for our dearly beloved and late former Mayor Sylvester Turner. So this was a way for him to have that last push for literacy. The focus was to make sure that all Houstonians was able to read books every day. This initiative ran concurrently through the summer. It went from June through September. It ran concurrent with our summer reading program. So with that initiative, we had an author for children, we had an author for teens, and we also had an adult author, the adult author was Maria Hinojosa. With that, it also had a culminating event, which was, I think I still remember the date, September 21st, 2023.
Wow.
Yes, we had it at the Hobby Center, so we invited Miss Nicole Hannah-Jones, who wrote the 1600 Project. There was an author talk with Miss Jones and Dr. Alexander Byrd. I call him my fake cousin, but he's from the University of Houston. So they started off the conversation, and then we brought the three authors. One of them was not able to make it, but we had three authors, Miss Maria Hinojosa, we had Dr. Youssef, and we also had Miss Ibi Zaboy. They were all there for a four-way conversation. But I mentioned the author talks, but with that initiative, we also had a lot of activities going on with the libraries. Block Party was one of them. We had 7 block parties at libraries across the region. This is where we invited food trucks. We invited vendors to come out for fun, just so that the community could come out to enjoy themselves while we were promoting literature. We also had open houses. We had arts and crafts. It was so much going on, Isabella, that I think I'm still recovering from OHA, as we called it. But it was a great way for the city to come together and to promote literacy and to ensure that all Houstonians were reading.
And it's called One Houston, One Book.
Yes.
Wow. And are we doing that again? Or is it, we need to do that again?
You know what? That is a blueprint for something in the future. We don't have anything planned at the moment. But I will say last year we celebrated 120 years at the Houston Public Library. We've been open since 1904.
Come on.
So that was a mini version of One Houston, One Book. Same thing. We had parties, birthday parties. We had literature events, all kinds of things celebrating the 100 books. So that ran from March all the way through June of last year.
Wow.
Yes.
Can you believe that, Isabella? I mean, first of all, 104, what did you say,
120 years, now it's 121.
Is there any sort of book that's like the history of the Houston Public Library with all the old pictures and everything?
We do have a book. I'm not for sure if it is available for checkout, but it does show all the buildings that were built during that time. You know, as you know, we have our nice buildings. There were libraries that emerged, and then there were library buildings that may have been renovated. So there is a book in some of our libraries that goes through that history of our spaces.
Wonderful. Isabel, what follow-up you got? Anything?
I don't have any more follows, but that was a great answer, and I'm so glad that you were there to help the libraries and help it evolve and everything.
Yes, it's always a pleasure. I love the library, and I thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you, Isabella, and hopefully you'll call in again. So let's go back, Donnie. So when you look at the public library, do you see a big difference between who's going in the summer and who's going in the fall? And it seems to me the summer, a lot of young people might be around.
Yes.
But am I just off base, or is there a big jump up in young people coming for the summer? Is there a big jump up in just in general more people?
You're right, because it's summertime. School is out.
School's out
for most. So this means that the library is a wonderful place, a welcoming place for students, parents, children to come out. This is why we have our summer reading program that's happening now. From June 1st through July 31st, we're hosting our summer reading program. This is for youth and teens 18 and under. And we also have our summer reading for grown-ups, 19 plus. So this is for our adults. So we have 2 reading challenges that run for 2 months. We have incentivized challenges where we're encouraging everyone to read at least 20 minutes for 30 days. There are halfway prizes for children. We have registration prizes. We have completion prizes. And we also have grand prizes, because we want to make sure that, Houstonians understand that it is important to read. And with that time off from school, we want to keep the children engaged, keep them coming to the library to continue to check out books and be rewarded for the books that they are reading. So I would say, yes, there's definitely, we also have robust programming. You cannot forget the programming. We have everything from clowns. We have everything from arts and crafts, scientific programs, author talks, sewing workshops for adults. You name it, most likely we have it on that events calendar. There is an uptick during the summer, and I will say after the summer, you'll start to see it go down, but the beginning of the school year for fall, it's still busy because students are getting their new grades, they're getting their new subjects, new supply lists, they have new projects, so they still need to come inside to be assisted with social studies and science projects. Sometimes they're planning a little early, but we will see a downtick right after the summer, but we still see a great amount of children coming in during the fall.
What about seniors? Do you get a lot of seniors?
You know what? We're starting to get a lot more seniors. Now, there are some neighborhood libraries that may see more than others because their senior population may be a little bit more dominant. But more seniors are coming into our libraries as they are understanding that, first of all, we are not going extinct. We're still here. There's still something for everyone. And I will say, as someone who does work with the senior population, I know there was always this fear of, well, the technology is advancing so much that we feel like, there's nothing there for us. And I let them know, I assure you, we have something there for you, and we have people there for you. We have staff who will be able to assist you with anything that you need assistance with in terms of technology, in terms of checking out books, in terms of services. So we want the senior to know, yes, the library may not be the way it was, let's say 1904, 1924. Here we are in 2025, and you still can do a lot of the things that you did back then, and even more so. And if you need that helping hand with getting up to where you would like to be, that's why we have our wonderful, dedicated Houston Public Library staff who will be able to assist you.
Man, that sounds like a commercial just now.
Yes, sir.
And we had say it again. We had a wonderful
Houston Public Library staff who will be available to assist you.
That was fantastic. Well, let me ask you this: for those that have trouble with their sight, is there Braille? Is there books in Braille or no?
That is a focus point. We do realize that we have those in our communities that may have special abilities. So we are focusing on purchasing and making it accommodating for everyone. So we may have some books there available. They may be able to check out, or I would say that we're planning to order more. We're learning more and more about our communities because, as you know, Houston is growing. We're a melting pot, as people say. So we have a lot of populations, and just when you think you're serving everybody, there's still that population over here. So that's why we're here, getting connected with our communities, continue to link people to the world. And one of the great ways of linking people to the world is that we're being able to understand the needs of our customers and communities. So, yes, that definitely is something that we have available for our customers and staff who have the same issue, and we're working on getting more of it.
Linking people to the world. Yes. That is such a wonderful, wonderful tagline. I love it. Let's go. We have a Bobby. Is Bobby back? Bobby, are you there?
Yeah, Dad. I'm here, Gilbert.
Bobby, I got you, pal. You got me and Mr. Donnie Byrd. What do you got? I hear you.
Yeah, well, I had a question for the bird.
The Bird.
I like that.
You go.
D-Bird, 7 years ago, I had a library card. So, why do you qualify for a library card today?
All you need is a Texas driver's license or ID. And since you said you had a library card, what I recommend you do, why don't you stop by one of our neighborhood libraries? I'm sure you have one close to you. Taking your driver's license or ID, and most likely, perhaps their library card account may come up. So one thing you will need to do is present the ID, make sure your driver's license has the correct address and information. And if not, make sure you take a bill with you. Any type of bill that shows your current, make sure the bill is within 30 days. It has your current address and everything so that we'll be able to update it. And if by chance you need a new library card, which I would say would be the great time, because if you didn't hear already, last year we celebrated 120 years. So we have our limited edition library cards. So make sure you take your Texas driver's license or ID inside the library and to get you one of those.
Bobby, what do you say there? You just got to go get it, and then you're linked to it right away.
That's it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. I sure hope you take advantage of it. It sounds like there's a lot there, my friend.
Okay.
Thank you for calling, Bobby.
Okay.
We got another caller. Who's that other caller? Pablo. Pablo, are you there? Pablo, did I lose you?
No, he's there.
Pablo.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear you, my friend. You got me, Gilbert Garcia, with a tip from me with Mr. Donnie Byrd. What do you got?
Well, I actually have two questions for y'all. I guess one's a little bit more serious, and the other one's a little bit more lighthearted.
Go.
I guess I'll start with my first question. This is from Mr. Byrd. I was just wondering if there's any hardships that the public libraries in Houston have been facing that I guess there needs to be a raising awareness in that people don't really hear a lot about.
Well, one thing is how's funding going? What's happening? Just what are some of the obstacles that the library's going through?
Well, I would say libraries in general. Right now, I would say relevancy, because, and that's what sometimes funding may come because people may not understand how important the libraries are. With Houston Public Library and any other library across the system. So we do everything we can, and what we want to make sure people understand is that we're really the heart of the community. We're the information station. This is where you come not only to gather information, to take advantage of a library card, but you're there to connect with people and also resources that may not be available anywhere else, and you can get all of that for free. So I would say relevancy, and we know that there are a lot of things that are happening now, but we at the Houston Public Library are making sure that we are hearing our customers and making sure that we'll continue to let them know that we're here and that we are continuing making things available for them so that, the less you have to do and the more you're relying upon us, then the better it will be. So I think we're all is basically in transition right now, but it's all about you. It's all about making everything easy and accessible for our customers.
Well, the more people will try it, they're going to like it.
Yes.
I mean, the key is to get them in so they don't think, oh, it's just a library.
No.
It's just a bunch of books. They don't realize all these services and all the fun that goes on and all the new technology.
And one thing you said, step in. Just take that first step. Whether you step inside of a library, whether you pick up the phone and call, or whether you visit our website at houstonlibrary.org. You would be amazed. And I will say this, I've been working with the library for 11 years, and I did not think I would work at the library. That was one of the last things. But once I stepped inside of a Houston Public Library location, I said, you know what? The library is a whole lot more than what I thought it was. And I get to be here and to educate our customers on what is there to offer. This is amazing. And everything is free of charge.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's right there for you, Houston, in Harris County. What was that second question there, Pablo?
Oh, yeah, of course. I was actually wondering what you, Mr. Garcia, and you, Mr. Byrd, what are y'all's favorite books?
Say it again. What was his question?
Favorite books?
My favorite book? You go ahead.
You know what? It's funny. I was interviewing last year with the lovely Deborah Duncan with Great Day Houston, and she asked me.
I've heard her show a couple times. She's a blast.
I love her, and she asked that question. And, I had to go all the way back to childhood. I said, what's funny? I would say out of all the books I've read, my favorite book is Older Places You'll Go by Dr.
Yeah, I love it.
I never forget about Back in 2017, we were celebrating Dr. Seuss's birthday. I was at Staniker Neighborhood Library, and I had to read a book. So that was my book. And as I was reading that, I started getting emotional.
Yeah.
And I had to hold myself because I said, oh, my God, I am literally reading about my life and what's been happening in these last number of years. And I had a moment right there in front of the parents and children. I had to hold up and just read the book and be professional. But inside, I said, this is my life. And it's amazing when you can get that type of revelation reading the book, especially a children's book, because these are things you don't forget. And you never know what you're going to face later on. But I would say that book always will stand out to me.
I'll tell you mine, Pablo. And maybe it's the same for both of us because it's all about looking at our lives in totality. And for mine, it's called I Love You Forever. Mm-hmm. It is the most extraordinary book. And it's a kind of a children's book, but yet it's a young person's book, a parent's book, and a grandparent's book, and I'll tell you why. And it's big colors, beautiful. What do you call it? Illustrations, not a lot of words, and it starts with a mom. And the mom has a baby, and when the baby is there, she rocks the baby, and she says, "I love you forever. I love you." There's this little poem she reads, and then all of a sudden it goes to the next page, and now the baby is like a young little boy, and the baby's like messing up everything in the den, the kitchen, everything. And at the end, the baby's asleep in her arms, and she's rocking and says, "I love you forever, forever. I love you," etc. And then. And then all of a sudden, the boy is now a teenager, and he's got no time for her, and he's listening to strange music, and he's wearing strange clothes. But then at night, he comes down to her, and she rocks him and says, "I love you forever, forever. I love you." And then all of a sudden, he's a man, and all of a sudden, the man is there, and he now has his own family. And she calls up because now she goes, I'm old and sick now, and would you come see me? So then the grown man comes to see his mom, and he rocks her and says, "I love you forever." For this, the same poem. And all of a sudden, as he goes home, he's walking up the stairs, and he sees in the crib his little daughter, and the whole circle of life comes back. It is so emotional. And I didn't do it justice, but it's called I Love You Forever, that over my life, I have probably bought and given out 100 copies. Because anytime there's a family that has a new baby or a new grandbaby or something, I buy them this book. And I always write in there and I sign and I said, it's okay to cry.
Yes, it is.
Because it is okay to cry.
It is.
And it's a beautiful book, Pablo. And I know you probably didn't expect that. But I Love You Forever is extraordinary. So, Pablo, let me ask you, Pablo, what's your favorite book?
Mine would probably be The Great Gatsby.
Wow.
Well, that's now a Broadway play, and I haven't seen it yet, but it's coming to Houston, The Great Gatsby, and so I've got to see that. So we thank you. You got a follow up or anything?
I'm all good. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you for calling in, as always. We have one more caller. I think we have room for one more caller. So let me get, who is it? Oh, Ernie. Ernie, is that my Ernie? Ernie, is that you, Ernie?
Yes. Hi, Gilbert. Hello.
How are you, Ernie? You've got me, Gilbert, with Donnie Byrd. We're talking about the Houston Public Library.
I know, what an incredible subject. I think it was just on the top of my head because it's summer, and that reminds me of my youth. My mom used to say, let's go read a book. She had 9 kids, and we grew up in the library.
Awesome.
Wow. I can just see all 9 of y'all going around, getting all the books, making a big mess, and that's what Latino families do.
And my mom used to tell my brothers, they'd say, Mom, we need to be playing sports too. She goes, you need to read a book.
Yeah.
Get in the library.
Yes.
That is beautiful.
But I had to call because on Wednesday, the United Way, we have our interagency meeting.
Okay.
And we talk about all the availability for the community. And I never see the library there. You guys need to be at that meeting at 9 o'clock. It's from 9 to 12.
Okay.
And you get to meet all the agencies throughout the community, and you get to tell them about the resources you have available.
Okay.
It is an incredible meeting. You have people from all ages and all sites that are working in the community, and the library would be an ideal
Yeah,
place to
Ernie,
be part of this.
do it again. Where is it and what time? And is it like monthly or what do you go back?
It's a monthly meeting, and this month it is on Wednesday, this Wednesday from 9 to 12 at the United Way building on Wall. And I will definitely bring up everything from this show to tell them about you.
Okay, great.
That is great. Hey, Ernie, why don't you see if the United Way they'd love to be on my show?
Hello?
Did I lose you, Ernie?
No, I'm still here.
Okay, I said, why don't you see if the United Way, if they'd like to be on my show?
Okay, that would be so super because we want to talk about that 211 also.
Well, I'm
You know,
embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. What is 211?
211 is the number that you call, just like you would call 911 for emergency.
Mm-hmm.
You call 211 for community services. And it's important because even the elderly have the need to call 211 if maybe their electricity went out and they don't know who to call to get it back on, or if someone sees a youth that is abandoned, you call 211. I mean, it's such a vital, and they just received a national award this past April regarding the best services for a large city in the country.
Wow.
It's an incredible award.
Well, thank you for that. I want to get them on. So see if you can get someone on for me on the United Way.
I will work on it immediately. And let me tell you, Gilbert, they're very proud of you because they always talk about your inspirational speaking. And I want to get you to come talk to those 211 people because you inspire people to do better. And let me tell you a funny, real quick. Gilbert and I were at the annex building for the Houston mayor's office, and we were having to print some form that we did not have with us, and they couldn't print it there because they said it would be illegal. And Gilbert and I ran across the street.
I remember.
I kid you not. And we went to the library. We got on the computer, and we even had a printer there that we could print out this form. And Gilbert said, who knew the library was so up to date?
You know what, Ernie, that is such a great story. And you know what? And it's 100% true.
Yes.
It was amazing. They were so happy with the library. So kudos to you. Keep doing the great work, Mr. Byrd. I'm so impressed.
Yes, and we're definitely looking forward to coming to some of your meetings as well.
Oh, wonderful. I'll keep in touch. I'll get a hold of you.
Thank you, Ernie. I'm going to try to get in one more caller, but I'm going to make sure you have the last word. So get ready to say whatever you're going to say. But we got a Miss Smith. Are you there, Miss Smith?
Yes, I am.
You got about a minute or so. I wanted to quickly get you in, but you can always call in next week. But what do you got for my guest here, Miss Smith?
Yes, I just want to let you all know about the Juneteenth celebration, the Passing the Torch celebration for the late Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee is going to be over at the Herman Park Golf Course from 1 to 3:30. So I just wanted to invite everybody to come out and be a part of Passing the Torch.
Amen. Go through that again. So it's what time and what and where and from when to when? Is there going to be food trucks or what do you got? Go through it all.
Hey, we got a huge Passing the Torch celebration that's going to be Thursday, June the 19th at Herman Park Golf Course. It's going to, I'm trying to think of the address, but it's Herman Park Golf Course, and it's going to be Thursday, and it's going to be from 1 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. So we're excited about that, and we're hoping to see everybody come out.
Miss Smith, thank you for calling. Thank you for reminding us, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
You got it. All right, so Mr. Byrd, you're not going to believe this. It's been an hour.
Oh, wow, it's been an hour.
Can you believe it?
How fast an hour goes.
Right? When you're having fun. And, you know, and for you and for me, there's nothing more fun than talking about the library.
That's right.
Isn't that amazing?
It's been wonderful.
You got about 1 minute or minute and a half. I want you to look in Houston. Tell us everything we need to know. Don't forget about any phone number, website, or anything so people can find out how to get involved.
That's right. Well, thank you once again for having me. So in my little minute and a half, I want to let you all know visit Houston Public Library at houstonlibrary.org. That is our website. If you'd like to reach out to staff, we have a location guide, but the quickest way will be to call our downtown flagship location at 832-393-1313 for more information on Houston Public Library. I also want to let you know about summer reading. I did mention it earlier. It does run from June 1st through July 31st. This is for all ages. Make sure you all sign up to take advantage of this, because guess what? This is incentivized. It's all free of charge. You all get prizes. You even get a chance to walk away with grand prizes and enjoy robust programming. I do want to throw in here real quick. So for those of you who do not know her, she is a 2025 Young People's Poet Laureate. Her name is Carol Boston Weatherford. She is a celebrated author who will be in Houston on tomorrow and Wednesday. She'll be here for poetry workshops at 4 of our locations. Central Library is one. Johnson Neighborhood Library is another one. And we also have her at Ring and Heights Library locations. All things poetry, intergenerational, all age programs. Make sure you all come and check those out. If you have any questions about those, please feel free to give us a call. If you don't have a Houston Public Library card, why not? Why not? It is free of charge. Make sure you get that library card, especially with these new limited edition library cards. I'm trying to get mine now. So
the 120-year anniversary?
Yes, the 120-year anniversary cards. Oh, I have mine right here.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
Bam. The astronaut. Okay, this is one of them. I think this is the most popular one. Get you one. It's free. Even if you have a current library card, you could always swap this out for free. So I'm gonna leave with that. We link people to the world, and this is your link right here.
Woo! I love it. Everybody, Houston, Harris County, that's Mr. Donnie Byrd of Houston Public Library. We got a full schedule coming up. We got Linda Murray and Morris Broussard. Of course, they're the ones that got all kinds of things to say. We got the CEO of the Montrose Center. We're going to have CEO of Kids Meal. We have Lisa Helpman at HEB, Mike Doyle of the Harris County Democratic Party. I'm going to have lots of other people. Dwight Boykins, we all know. Mike Nichols on the Houston Housing Director, who's worked a lot with the homeless. And, of course, we're going to be inviting more candidates from CD 18. And this is Gilbert Garcia saying we'll see you next time. This is Gilbert Andrew Garcia of A Tip from Gilbert, talk, inspiration, and prayer. Listen to my show every Monday from 11 to 12 on KWWJ 1360 AM, KYOK 1140 AM, KCOH at 1230 KCOH.com, Sangeet Radio at 95.1 FM, 1460 AM, and Latino Sports, KEYH 850 AM. Call in at 832-570-8075 and follow me on social media. See you then.